Hey guys, it is Callus coming at you with live SPL content. I have been sitting here waiting for this game for, I don't know, 15 minutes, and of course I missed the first turn, because that's how it goes. But I haven't done any SPL content, so we're just going to catch this up real quick and get up to speed. So it's CyberOdin on the bottom with Zapdos, Dekzeh on the top. We've got fast and furious action here as Dekzeh tried to mag into the Skarm for Odin, who did do the Magneton check with the Roar. He got a layer down and got out of the way, and I believe we are now caught up to live. We are. So Odin is 2-0 in this SPL. Dekzeh, who some of you guys may remember I signed up to manage SPL with, we were not picked of course, is struggling this SPL thus far and has an 0-2 record. So this is a pretty big game for both of them. If Odin can start out 3-0, now granted there are two other 3-0 ADV players, so ADV has been really top heavy this time around so far. But that would be a fantastic start for him. That gives him a lot of wiggle room for things to not go his way in the future and for him to still finish with a really good record. Dekzeh, on the other hand, his whole team, the Tigers, my former team, is really struggling at the moment. And Dekzeh himself is not having his best showing. He's a fantastic player. He could totally start out 0-4 and then run off 5 in a row. He's very, very capable of that. But obviously that's not the hole that he wants to dig himself into. So he's going to try to turn his season around with this game. Like I said, he does have that 0-2 start. In this game, we're looking at an Endeavor Pert against a Bliss. Seismic Toss happens here. That's going to knock Pert into the red. He's got an awkward number, 17%, but that's what happens when you have spikes and other things factoring into the equation to make it not sub down perfectly. So he's in the red. He can threaten Bliss here. The question is, does he have Surf or Hydro Pump? And does Hydro Pump get the kill here? And that's probably what both players are thinking about right now. I doubt that Odin has a great switch here. Even if he did hypothetically have something like a Coon or Vaporeon or whatever that could take the Hydro Pump, he would have to be careful about the Endeavor here from the very fast Swampert. So really what Odin's thinking about here is, can Blissey survive? And you would think that because there's an Endeavor Pert, there's got to be a Tyranitar in the back for Dekzeh. The Endeavor Pert loses a lot of its effectiveness if it is simply bringing things down to 1 HP, but it's not actually killing them with the sand. And Dekzeh here is going to be on the bad end of the fact that he in fact actually has Surf, not Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump would have killed Blissey there. Surf, as we see, does not. And it looks like Odin is actually stalling out the Swampert here. Dekzeh fishing for a freeze. Blissey goes back up to 100%. Endeavor knocks her back down, but Endeavor only has 8 PP to begin with, half of which have already been used. Dekzeh actually might lose to this Blissey with his Swampert, and indeed she does go for a Seismic Toss. That Endeavor Pert did little to nothing, and CyberOdin takes the early lead. Dekzeh not off to a good start at all. Now granted, he does have a Magneton against what we know to be a Skarm team from CyberOdin, so that could be a free kill if Dekzeh manages to catch that. Maybe he goes Mag here if he thinks that the Skarm's going to switch into the Metagross. Prediction opportunity here for Dekzeh. He's the one on the proactive end of this turn. Blissey could have counter, but I mean, if you're Dekzeh, you can't play around that here. You're either Meteor Mashing or you're switching. I can't imagine that there's any other play here. I guess he could go like Rock Slide if he specifically thinks that the Zapdos is going to come in. But I would think the large majority of the time here in Dekzeh's shoes, it's either a mash or a switch. It's Odin using the time, and it is Meteor Mash. That's going to be a probably relevant critical hit. I think Blissey probably survives that. Yeah, it's a lefty's Metagross. It's a non-choice bander. So I think Bliss, even though she would not have taken it well, would have survived that if not for the critical hit. So Dekzeh catches a little bit of a break there to even the game up at 5 a pop. Still half the team unrevealed for both guys, so hard to tell where the game is. It looks like a semi-standard physical offense for Dekzeh. You've got to imagine with the Endeavor Pert that there's a T-Tower in the back, and I would also imagine that Dekzeh is spikeless, whereas for CyberOdin, he's got Skarm, Bliss, Zap, which is usually indicative of just an old-school TSS. I would imagine Pokemon like Swampert, T-Tower, and then either Gengar or Dugtrio as the last Pokemon for CyberOdin if I had to fill in the blanks on his team. And then for Dekzeh, you're probably looking at like a T-Tar, a Salamence, a Lax, that kind of thing. There might be a Coon, since the pert on this team was not a proper bulky water, it was the Endeavor pert, so it could be a Coon plus 2 of the aforementioned Pokemon, but that's probably how I would mentally fill in the team for both guys. Scum comes in, here's a Meteor Mash, 19%, Spike's Lair number 2, so Odin actually has an opportunity for all 3 lairs here. Alright, only 2, but yeah, despite Magneton, getting 2 lairs down is huge. Dekzeh, I am not expecting to have a spinner, so I think he's going to have to play the whole game with those spikes down, which is obviously not where he wants to be. It also leaves him with a Magneton that really doesn't have a lot of purpose, I would imagine. There's a Pokemon I did not list out of the things that I anticipated. Dekzeh has a Celebi here, so maybe this is closer to a classic balance team, more so than I thought. Surprise Drill Pack from Odin nails him for 57%, which is a huge chunk. That puts Celebi in a position where he would die from another one should it stay in. Leech Seed did get off, but Celebi has to be very careful here. If Dekzeh has the balls to stay in and recover, great, but there's a lot of times where that goes wrong, and Dekzeh does pull it back to Magneton, which has lefties. Goes for sub here. T-Tar is slower, but gets the Earthquake off. Magneton here will not be able to kill T-Tar with one shot, even with a crit. And CyberOdin, again with a good prediction, knows that Magneton's going to switch out of Earthquake, so he gets Dragon Dance off. Salamence from Dekzeh instantly killed. Here's Coon. Dekzeh behind once again in this game. Rock Slide fishing for a flinch, does not find it. Surf to 79%, but Coon is 1 crit or 1 flinch away from death. No crit, no flinch either. There's rest for Dekzeh. Crocoon would definitely be the best set that he can have here. Odin not playing around it, goes for the dance. He does have Sleep Talk, he does have Surf. Dekzeh finds exactly what he needs to find, and down goes the T-Tar. We now have ourselves a 3-3. 2 hidden Pokemon for Odin. Celebi in, Celebi Thunderbolted. It will survive, but it will not survive the incoming Drill Peck that might come down, or another Thunderbolt. Celebi goes down either way, and it is out of here. You're obviously not going to switch Coon in this situation, so that leaves Dekzeh with one option, the Magneton. Here comes Claydol. That gets hit with Toxic. Whether or not it has Refresh, we don't know, but it's sure as hell going to have Earthquake. And that's what he goes for here. Magneton trying to sub-Toxic, stall it out. That's going to be hard to do, but he'll at least get some damage on it. Coon comes in probably to another Earthquake. Coon has to be careful about getting blown up on. But this looks like checkmate for Dekzeh. He's in a real bad spot here. It looks to me like Odin is going to be 3-0 and Dekzeh is going to get knocked down to 0-3. It's not over till it's over, but it certainly looks like it's going that way to me. Dekzeh did have an opportunity there to find a critical hit on Surf that would have killed the Zapdos, which could potentially have changed things here, but the crit did not come. It was just a regular Surf in his sleep, and it would have been pretty lucky. He'd have a 1 in 3 chance to even find Surf at all with Sleep Talk, and then he'd also need a crit on top of it, so mathematically that's very unlikely. And it's going to be only Magneton remaining for Dekzeh here. Thunder Wave. That's almost certainly the game here. Claydol here, yeah, I mean, unless he clicks something other than Earthquake, I'm going to give Odin the benefit of the doubt. And there is the EQ. Dekzeh going to go down. That's going to move CyberOdin up to 3-0 in this SPL, as is Zomog, as is BKC. ADV very top-heavy this time around. Dekzeh going to fall, despite his enormous price tag, to an 0-3 record, which is very uncharacteristic. He is very capable of turning it around, but he has not had himself a good day. We will see if he can turn the rest of the season around, but for now, it is a CyberOdin victory. Rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you guys want more SPL content. I'll listen to you guys. If you want more of it, I'll give you more of it, but I need to know. And otherwise, I'll see you guys tonight for Callous Fight Night.